Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Virtual Star Party, a special edition here on Saturday instead of our normal Sunday, because I am a selfish jerk and I'm going up to Mount Wilson tomorrow to observe the Perseids. But I'm so glad that we didn't have to cancel and we went ahead and rescheduled for today because we have a wonderful set of astrophotography and live views from across the world. For those of you who have never seen this before, this is what we do: is we connect online via YouTube and Google Plus and all over the place, and stream live views of the heavens through telescopes from across the globe. Also, incorporating some astrophotography that are astronomers that are regulars on the show, as well as those that have been watching us for, gosh, like over 2.5 years. So we're incorporating those in now. And also going on at this moment is the Our Sky International Celebration that we're working with as well. So if you search on Google Plus, Twitter, Facebook with the hashtag Our Sky, all one word, you'll be seeing a bunch of people from across the globe coming together just to celebrate the sky that we all share together, and just it's awesome. So if you want to be in touch with us, there are many different ways. Before we do our introductions, you can get a hold of us on Twitter. My Twitter handle is Scientific Scott, but for the official channel, it's _VSP. And we're on Google Plus, so I have the event page set up there. So if you want to submit your own pictures that you haven't got to us beforehand, you can put them in the event page. Also, I've got the Q&A app set up, so I'm already seeing some people jumping in here, which is on Google Plus and on YouTube, so you can interact with us all those ways, give us questions, comments, snarky anecdotes, and I will shoot them right back at you because I'm snarky as well. I'm going to go ahead and introduce everyone from left to right on my screen anyway. We're joined by Andrew Dumbleton. How are you doing, Andrew?
Hi, very well, fine. Thank you, Scott.
And what time is it over there?
Oh, we're just about 3:05 in the morning.
3:05 in the morning, and so you decided to join us bright and early over in the UK, and we appreciate it. And you're going to be sharing with us some of your astrophotography that you sent me earlier, and maybe, if we're lucky, if we can get on the iTelescope network. Is that correct?
If we can sneak in, yeah.
Well, we'll sneak in. If not, I've got to call Peter again and get that arranged, so we'll be good. Next, we have Gary Ganella.
Hi, everybody.
Our rock here at the VSP. How you doing, Gary?
Good, good. Don't have dark skies, but I'll be showing pictures I've taken before.
Very good. And yes, and so that's another thing here too, that we've changed to going to 7 p.m. for every single show to help just be a little bit more constant with the show. And that means, yeah, during the summertime, us here on the West Coast, I'm in LA, it's still bright outside, but that allows us to share more astrophotography on that end and more live views on the East Coast and other places around the world. And speaking of East Coast, we have Michael Rector. How's it going, Mike?
Good, how are you?
Great. I haven't seen you in such a long time.
I've been hiding.
Hiding.
I usually curl up underneath things and just lay there for hours.
Do you grow moss?
No, just this really bad mustache.
Hey, I love it. I love that little mustache you got going on there. and will you be sharing anything with us?
I do have a few photos I can share, yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. And our wonder from down under, not really, he's in New Zealand, but the upside-down astronomer Paul Stewart, bringing us the live view of the sun tomorrow, which is what time is it down there?
It's 2 in the afternoon.
2 in the afternoon, and he's battling clouds, but bringing us the live view of the sun anyway. And is there much going on right now? I'm looking. I see a couple sunspots.
There's a little bit of activity there.
Yeah, we'll take a look as we're going through here, bringing that live feed, as my phone's blowing up as well. So I'll turn down my notifications. So where we're going to start is I'm going to keep this on here with Paul while I pull up a bunch of the images that I've been sent throughout the week. So Paul, what are you using to observe and bring us the sun?
Well, we're working through a Lunt LS80 at the moment, a little Grasshopper 3 camera.
And so this Grasshopper 3 camera, what type of camera is that? The way it sets up?
It's a mono CCD.
So we're only seeing. So because I'm not Fraser, I'm not going to cry and whine that it's not in color. But this allows you just to get some better video quality, or why would you choose mono over a different type of camera?
Basically, looking through the scope, it's going to just be red anyway. It's a very thin band in the red, so it's going to be a totally red image, so you might as well just do mono and just capture the full range.
Right, because we're looking at this in hydrogen alpha. We're looking at a very thin slice of the spectrum, which is what allows us to see the filaments and a lot more of the detail on the surface of the sun. Which I believe you're able to zoom in. I know we will a little bit later, and I'll ask you to, because you read my mind every time we do a show, and just bring me whatever I want, which is awesome. So, and also I do want to announce, because I threatened him that I would, Stuart Foreman is not able to join us tonight because he is playing board games. And the reason why is because he is a sorceress in the land of dreams who has a staff that does 6d6 electrical damage. And we don't want to mess with him. So, Stu, that's for you. I hope to see you next show, and I'm sure you will send me a text message in the next few minutes about that. So I'm going to head on over to Andrew, and we're going to take a look at what Andrew has to show us tonight.
Hi, Scott. Okay, this one, if you can see it on your screen, this has a designation called IC2602, which is not so memorable. It's a Southern Hemisphere object known as the Southern Pleiades. So it's an open cluster similar to our own M45 Pleiades.
Right.
Not quite the same, a similar sort of arrangement. You can see it has almost a small bowl, the same as M45, but the same sort of blue stars.
And so you took this from the iTelescope network, or how did you take this image?
Yeah, I was after a recent photo, so this morning when it was morning in the UK, I hopped onto the iTelescope network in Australia, where of course it was nice and dark there, and used one of their telescopes in the US to capture this photo this morning, and I managed to get a couple of photos, one which I'll show in a few moments.
Very good. Beautiful. I love how we're really able to see those blues come out, very similar to how we were able to see the Pleiades.
Yes, fantastic that they have their version of something that we can see here.
Definitely. So I'm going to be going through here, like I said, so part of our new format is that we're not only bringing some live views or recent stuff, but I've opened it up to our regular astronomers and our viewers that do some astrophotography at home and to bring us their recent images. And one of our normal astronomers, or I would say normal, I don't think any of us are normal, one of our regular astronomers, Chris Kennedy, brought us a similar view of the sun that Paul's doing. It's in H-alpha, so let me go ahead and bring this in here. So we're able to see here in hydrogen alpha, and this was taken on the 24th of July. And normally if we're looking through a white filter, we're not able to see a lot of this detail, where it's just blocking out a lot of the light. I've got some white filters for my binoculars to look at the sun, but here we're getting down to that very narrow band of light to where we're able to see a lot of this detail, and you can see a lot of these filaments coming off the limb of the sun here, which is beautiful. And later on, I'll be putting a link into the event page and also on YouTube. He put up a time lapse as well of not this session, but a session he did later on, showing some of the dynamic action that our sun's able to do. So we're going on here. We're seeing a lot of action going on, and you're just seeing how the magnetic field of the sun is just weaving all around. It's a very tumultuous. It's very turbulent on the surface with its high level of magnetism that's going on. So, Chris, thank you very much for sharing this with us. I will be posting these through into the event page throughout the show, and as I can do as many things as I can at once, which is not many, but I try. So while that's going on, I'm going to head on over to Gary. Oh, Gary, you're doing it. I love this. What are we looking at?
This is my Orion. Now, this was taken at a dark location. It's only about a 1-minute exposure
Okay.
in RGB. Let me see. Yeah, and a 10-second exposure to get the bright areas to show up.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. And I've done HDR, which is high dynamic range with that. So basically, I take the 1-minute exposures, combine them together to get the faint stuff, and then add the 10 seconds to it, because otherwise, if I just have the 1 minute, this whole area with the stars in it is just totally blown out.
So I mean, so you're able to do just a short exposure and then add it to a longer exposure to help balance out and pull out some more of the detail?
Correct. There's an actual procedure for high definition. And what it takes is I tell it, these were the short exposures, which gives me, it's even on the 10-second, you can see it's still blown out in here.
Right. Because it is extremely bright. This is a stellar nursery here. This is where a lot of brand new stars are being formed in this really thick nebulous region.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they are.
That's absolutely. And you said it's RGB, so you took this with what type of camera did you use for
this was with my I just went blank. My normal CCD camera, and all of a sudden my brain with red, green, and blue filters.
Okay, so you weren't doing anything like with your oxygen filter or anything like that. This is just red, green, and blue, and then combining them in Photoshop, Registax, or.
I use nebulosity, and also I apologize, my brain is not working tonight.
It's okay. We didn't ask you to bring your brain, just your beautiful images.
Maxim XL.
Maxim XL, okay.
So I do use both of those.
Oh, awesome. No, that is fantastic. It's a beautiful image.
Thank you.
And it's one of my favorites, anyways. My favorites is the Orion Nebula because it's something that's pretty easy to see in the northern hemisphere here, and even you can see it with your naked eye, but also just getting a pair of binoculars, you can really start seeing a lot of it on there. It's really, really bright. So if you're looking at Orion's belt, you just look a little bit below it, and you're able to see where these brand new stars are coming into existence. You're seeing all those clouds there, and that's what you really need, this dense, really cool cloud of dust that becomes actually comes down in on itself and is able to continue to shrink down against the heating up as the dust combines. It starts to heat up with that, and while that's able to go down, it's able to form stars, and it has a lot of star forming going on in this region.
It certainly does.
And that's an object that's only a month or so away.
Yes, and then we will be getting lots of requests, I'm sure, for that, because it's something that's, again, it's pretty easy for a lot of people to be able to see, to go out there. So I'm going to jump on over and see what type of questions we have going on here. I do have a lot of comments at least. So let's see, Helen Reed just let us know that's a gorgeous Orion Nebula. So thank you, Helen. That is for you, Gary, and your wonderful skills.
Thank you, thank you.
And she also asked, where is Fraser anyways? So as I told everyone before, he's probably hiding under a rock somewhere in Canada. No, Fraser's really busy with one of his new jobs, and so he's working that out. But he should be back sometime in September after DragonCon, and we'll be getting back down in line with that. But he's been really busy with a lot of the shoots with his YouTube channel and with his new job at X Hero or Hero X or something like that. Or he jumped into a Stargate in Vancouver, and he'll be back whenever we find him. Let's see here. And actually here, so from Michael, and I'm going to hop over to Paul's view because this is regarding Paul Stewart's son. Did everyone see Paul Stewart's sunspot monochrome yesterday? So tell us about that if you can, Paul. What did you share with the world on the inner tubes?
I'll pull it up and we'll talk about it a bit later.
Oh, well, excuse me. But I see you've gone to somewhat color. on
Gone
there. So
to
you
a
just
white.
brought a little,
Yeah,
did you change your camera or
we've
your
gone to white
scope you're looking
light.
through, or?
Yeah, back to a little 80mm with a white light filter and a color camera.
Right. So, and this is what we were talking about earlier. So, the difference between observing in hydrogen alpha and white light is, white light is it's literally blocking out 99, I believe, 0.98% of the light that comes through, and so we're looking at it in the full spectrum, just dimmed down a lot, so we don't burn our eyes, our optics, and our cameras. And this allows us to see. Basically how our eyes have evolved to observe light around us. So you can see the sunspots activity there just a little bit north or maybe south, depending on how your telescope's oriented, and you are upside down. So maybe it's east. I have no idea on which which direction that's at right now, but up on our view that we're looking at. So I'm going to hop on over to Michael. And Michael, what do you have for us?
This is IC 405 in the constellation Auriga or Auriga, however you want to pronounce it. It's this was taken back in March. It was 3 days worth of imaging. I think I got a total of 90 images at 5 minutes each.
90 images at 5 minutes each?
Yep.
Wow. I mean, I love how we're seeing here those dark patches on the upper right-hand side over that reddish magenta area.
Yeah.
And where was this taken?
This was taken here in Plattsburgh, New York, right in my backyard.
Right in your back. No, you're in upstate New York, yeah?
Yep. Yeah, I actually have to deal with the lights from the Canadian border. So
Canada?
Yeah, it's a pain. Between that and Montreal getting in my way.
I mean, really, we can't complain too much, especially Gary and I, because we live in LA, and we want to talk about some light pollution. It's pretty bad, but the best thing about Gary's setup is that he has all these filters that are able to block out a lot of that light there. But now this is fantastic. When did you say you took this?
Back in March. It was actually the second deep sky object I took when I got my CG5 mount.
Oh, okay. And so, I guess we can go a little bit into the mounts there. So what's important about having a good mount when we're doing any sort of amateur astronomy here?
Being able to track the stars more precisely is a big plus with this mount. I also got an auto guider, so it will just lock onto a star and it'll make the small adjustments for any error in the mount or the alignment. So
yeah, I've heard a lot of us say here that you really want to go with a good mount if you're doing astrophotography, because it just basically allows you to stabilize and keep from any streaks going on, or what? Yep. Is that what we're talking about here?
Yeah, pretty much. My biggest issue is if you look around the corner or around the edges of mine, I've got some elongated stars, and that is due to coma from my telescope, which happens in Newtonian telescopes, and I still need to get a corrector for that so I can get rid of those.
So what exactly do you mean by coma? What is that?
It is, I believe it's just caused by the curvature of the mirror of the telescope.
And so we're just seeing a little bit of the haziness going on there?
Well, the elongated stars, especially if you look at the bottom right corner below the nebula, you see those stars, how they're a little bit longer. That's from the curvature of the mirror.
Gotcha.
And getting a coma corrector would actually get rid of that and make it look more like towards the center.
Or is that not the same thing? I don't think it's the same thing. No, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I'm going to hop on over to one of the images submitted to us from another one of our regulars. This is from Russell Bateman, bringing us the moon from 5 days ago. And I mean, this is actually an enormous image. So this is at 20% taking up my screen. But we can really get in here and see some of the details here on the craters. They're just fantastic. I wish Russell was able to come in here tonight, because he really does he just brings the moon every single time, and it's fantastic. So I'll be putting this into the event page, and let me actually see if I can pull up my notes on it, because I actually have notes I actually write things down and try to get this. So this was taken with his, excuse me, this was taken with his Nexstar 5 SE. So it's a 1250 millimeter focal length there. And his Next Image 5, so it's a 3.1 megapixel camera. And this is a 9-day-old moon, 60.9% illuminated. And he added that at that present time, it was 380,665 kilometers away. So one thing to remind us is that the moon and most all orbits are not circular. They're elliptical in shape. So there's going to be times when it's closer or further away from us. And so at this time, he sent me another image too, taken back in July, where it was a little bit further away, where it was 21 days old. So as we're observing the moon, and as we're going to be seeing coming up tomorrow, or tonight or tomorrow, is the supermoon, where it's full and the closest to us, and it's like, what, 15% larger than it normally is, or appears in the sky. And no, nothing special is really going to happen. The tides aren't going to go crazy. Rivers don't turn to blood, and but maybe I'll go nuts because it's pretty. I'll be doing some astrophotography. So I'm going to head on over to Andrew. And what do you have there, Andrew? Gosh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, another fantastic Southern Hemisphere object, NGC 104, also known as 47 Tucani. This is where I think the Southern Hemisphere have us beat. They have these wonderful globular clusters, or globular clusters, depending on...
Well, Fraser's not here, so we don't have to say globular. we can call them what they are, and they're globular clusters.
Yeah, this one's a fantastic one. I think this has they have another one as well, so they have two really great globular clusters in the Southern Hemisphere. The other one's Omega Centauri.
Right.
But there was actually some nice colours in this one. Just about pulled them out, if you can see them there. Some sort of red-orange stars, because these objects are obviously very old.
Right. So, what these globular clusters are, we say that they have low metallosity, and so they're primarily hydrogen and helium. There's very, very little of the heavier elements that we see that are in stars like our own, which have protoplanetary disks that creates planets like our own, where we have heavier elements. So these are really, really old stars that formed near the beginning of the universe, so shortly after the Big Bang. So it's primarily at that time was hydrogen and helium, and so these clusters of super dense clusters of stars are really, really old and very low in any, quote, metal content. So in astronomy, anything heavier than helium is a metal, even though that's not how we normally think of it here with our chemists. But this is primarily of hydrogen and helium types of stars going on.
Yeah, and quite interesting how they're sort of arranged in a halo around our galaxy. I think it's still not well understood how that happens, but yes, it's just incredible that they sort of surround the galaxy like a satellite of satellites of our own Earth, if you like.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we do have them. They're gravitationally bound. We have a few going on within our galaxy, and yeah, it's beautiful seeing them in the halo area. So I'm gonna hop over again to, this is from Stephen Ron, and I know screen sharing this will not do it justice, so I will again post this into the event page. But this is his North American nebula, so just a huge area of the sky. This is something that Gary's shown us before too, so maybe Gary, if you can pull out your archives as well, we can show some of the North American nebula. And he took this over here on July 30th, but I'm going to zoom in and get some of this detail out. And just absolutely beautiful. I mean, all these stars coming out, and you can see some of the clouds going on. And Gary, I'm going to ask you here, since this is something that you've imaged before and you've shared with us on the virtual star party, how big, a part of the sky is this? When you're imaging the North American nebula, what what are you looking for as far as capturing and processing these images?
Well, my scope normally is 1 degree by 1.5 degrees, and I can't get the whole North American Nebula.
Right.
One that I put up right now is a 30 millimeter lens on a Canon camera.
So this is your North American?
Yeah.
So a 30 millimeter lens, and what we're looking at in Stevens is a 50 millimeter lens with this Canon 60D. And this is your Canon with the 30 millimeter?
Correct, the 20DA.
So when we're talking about here about the length here, when we're talking about 50 millimeter versus 30 millimeter, what are we talking about as far as what we're able to see? Because his was shot at f3.2. Do you know what yours was at here with your 30 millimeter?
I think it's f5.
F5. So when we're dealing with these different f-stops and ratios, what are we looking at here? Because yours does look quite a bit different than Stevens. Is it just from different processing, or is it because the field of view taken with that lens, or what are we looking at here?
The field of view is pretty close. I think I've got a little bit wider, and I process the colors a little bit more.
Right.
So I've got the reds coming out. This was also taken in a dark location up Northern California way.
Okay. And Stevens taken in Tennessee. And this is a single 2-minute exposure for him. And yours was how long?
This is a 4-minute.
4-minute. So with that, you're able to pull out more detail just because you're collecting more light.
Right.
And when you're stopping it down to 5, which means that allows you to do a little bit more when you're getting to the photography, as far as if you're stopping it down, as it's called, to, you said f5. It changes the amount of light that comes into the camera itself, and so you're able to do some longer exposures without blowing out certain areas. Is that right?
Yes. In fact, my main scope is 375 millimeters at f1.9.
Oh wow. Okay. So really, like my 50 millimeter lens from my Canon is a f1.8, and so it's really wide open. We're just talking about a ratio there of how wide your aperture is to how long the lens is, per se.
Yes, and another thing that enters into this is the size of the CCD chip.
Right.
Because the bigger the chip, the more you're going to get in the field.
Right. Exactly. Now I love the detail you're able to pull out of there, and Steven's image as well. So I'm going to keep Gary's up here for a moment as I'm pulling that through, and also try to check. Gosh, you guys are all awesome. I have so many comments going on here. I can barely keep them straight. So as we look at Gary's image, I'm going to take a look at some of these comments, and I know there's a lot of stuff going on here on Twitter as well. So thank you everyone for sharing out the link on Twitter. I have yet to check Facebook again since I put it up, so thank you again for that. But Dan on Twitter, this is that he's checking out the VSP on his tablet while playing Cosmos on the television through Chromecast on Netflix. So it's a great science night. Absolutely. Everyone should be doing nerdy stuff like that, because that's, well, at least that's what I get down to. That's always fun.
It's all I do.
Yeah. we got to nerd out loud, man. That's how we do this. Let's see here. So Stephen's not live, but Brad asked, why so many diffraction spikes? Is it 8-vane spider? That's a great question. Maybe if Stephen is watching this and can comment on the YouTube comments and find out what's going on there with any of the images, any of the artifacts going on, that would be good. But that's from Brad Snoder, one of some I've actually met in real life at the Curiosity landing. So he's an awesome guy. I've had him on a couple of our Hangouts before. And let's see here. Eric Charlin's asking, who else stayed up all night for Rosetta? I didn't. I've been really busy lately with a lot of things, but I know I didn't. Did any of you guys stay up and see what's going on with Rosetta?
No, I didn't either.
No?
Yeah, It was taking place in daytime in the UK, and
Right.
I took, well, I didn't take the day off work, but I decided to work from home just because it was going to happen, and I was so busy working, I completely missed the
Oh
live stream.
no. Oh no. I hate it when that happens.
Oh, man.
So here's another one from Michael Jobin, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I say it so many different ways, but he's one of our regulars on all the different shows I'm involved with. But Mega Moon and Perseid meteor shower on my birthday. Happy birthday to me. So yes, happy birthday, Michael. The happy coincidence on rotating and revolving around the sun, but happy birthday. And from all of us here at the virtual star party and elsewhere on the show, but that's awesome. That's a great way. So I hope, Michael, as I see this go through, I hope to know that you're going to be going out and observing instead of, having a life with friends because, well, that's...
Nobody
I hope
needs
he
a life.
enjoys the supermoon. I got him.
Okay, good. Hey, well, I mean, I know on my birthday I'm going to be working. We have a Hubble Hangout on my birthday, so I will be working on my birthday. So I'm going to be nerding out, so Michael should nerd out too. Let's see here. Going through again before we get back to some more images. More on Rosetta, and I will check on those in a little bit. And Patrick also Patrick Calhoun put something on about a scary face on the moon. I will check that later. But Skeptical Scott is skeptical, so we will take a look and see what's going on with that. So I'm gonna hop on over to Paul. Gosh, Paul. So this is what we were talking about earlier. What are we looking at?
Well, the clouds are finally won here, so we have to go to images now.
Oh, that's fine. That's totally fine. Is this the image that you were sharing on? Was it on your Google Plus page?
It was. This is taken with a new device made by Daystar called a Quark, which will turn any normal refractor into an H-alpha telescope. So this was done through my 132mm refractor with this new device.
So how does that work?
All
Is
the
it just
H-alpha
magic?
goodies.
Is it like space unicorns and it just does it for you, or how does that work?
Exactly. It just looks like a big eyepiece. You stick your camera in the end, and it's got all the H-alpha goodies inside it. And
That's
just happens.
awesome. I think I need to get one of those because I do like observing it, in my very rare spare time. But again, I'm looking at white light. So this was taken when? When was this taken there?
Yesterday afternoon about this time.
Yesterday afternoon? I mean, all
Yep.
the detail going on. Jeez. And you said which telescope were you using?
132mm refractor.
132 mil refractor. So, man, you're really able to get in there. Nice. I love it. So, for all of those out there, follow Paul on Google Plus, Paul Stewart, and what's your Twitter handle? 'Cause I know you put some stuff out there on Twitter as well.
You can find me at Astro Stew.
Astro Stew. Yes. And actually, speaking of Twitter, I know we have. I don't know, Andrew, are you on Twitter too?
Yes, I am. Yes.
Awesome. We are all a bunch of tweeters in here. So I know Gary has recently joined Twitter. He's joined the horde.
I have.
So while we're doing this, I'm going to. So Andrew, what's your Twitter handle?
Mine's just simply at AJ Dumbleton, but we also have at Astro for Fun, because I'm also one of the founding members of the Astronomy for Fun.
Astronomy for Fun. And so what is that?
Oh, that's primarily a Facebook group. So it's a global community of astronomers or want to be astronomers, so beginners. And we're primarily, the founders, if you like, are centred around the Midlands, UK. But I think there's about 3,000 members of the Facebook page.
Okay.
And we get some very nice images there, and we're one of the groups that's not wanting to show images that are perfection, so we encourage all beginners at all stages.
Well, you have to start somewhere.
Yeah. And I think, Scott, you've seen the fun element of that, where we produced the happy video.
Yes, I have seen that. And Gary, do you want to let everyone know how they can stalk you on Twitter?
Yes, I am at W, the number 6, RYO. Whiskey
RYO.
6, Romeo Yankee Oscar.
So I have a feeling that might have to do something with your ham
That
operation.
that is my ham call. The RYO part I've had since 1965, and to use phonetics, I used to call it Whiskey 6 Real Young Operator, but that doesn't work anymore.
Hey, I mean, come on. You're only as young as you feel. Are you,
That I'm
okay, never mind.
130.
Never mind. Michael Rector, actually, this is how I got you back in tonight. What's your Twitter handle?
It is Adirondack Astro. It's also the same as the link to my website, which is right down there.
Right down there in the doobly-doo. So Adirondack Astro.
Yeah.
And does it have anything to do with the mountains that are near you?
Yes, it does. Has everything to do with it.
Gotcha. That makes sense. So yes, so we have everyone here. We have Astro Stu, Paul, and I am going to hop over to Andrew's image. And this is what, the dumbbell?
It's the dumbbell, yeah. It's only a monochrome image because of the telescope I'm using would take too long to sort of take it through the various filters and process it for you in the virtual star party. But I've just taken this right now. This is on an eye telescope which is hosted in Spain. So this is the Dumbbell Nebula, a lovely planetary nebula in Vulpecula.
So you just got this a few moments ago.
Just a few moments ago, yeah. It's minutes old.
Minutes old from Spain. That's wonderful.
It's still steaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, you're a regular user of iTelescope, and we know here on the Virtual Star Party, we know some people involved or that with iTelescope. So it's something I definitely do recommend as a shameless plug, but they have nothing really to do with us officially. We just really love their service out there. So it's at itelescope.net, and you're able to get some time, and you can observe from your clouded out home, from indoors, from across the world. You're able to go to these different observatories and get some amazing astrophotography like what we're seeing here.
Yeah, and with my clouds this evening, it's enabled me to bring some live images at least to you.
Right.
And the great thing is, of course, when it's daylight, you can find some telescope in the world where it's in darkness.
Right. So I'm going to hop over to Gary. Oh, Gary, killing me here.
This again is a dark location in desert in Southern California. This is the Horsehead Nebula and the Flame Nebula. And this is in Orion. The Horsehead itself here is...
Oh, your screen just went black.
Did I just go away?
I mean, I see your window open, but it's black now.
Come back, Gary.
I was having the problem with my display program. It was doing that. Let me reselect it.
Okay. While you pull that up there, I'm just going to answer one question on the Q&A, and that's coming back up again. So let me just answer this real quick. This is coming from CGO Lima. How does one submit images, video for possible inclusion to the VSP? Better yet, what are the requirements for live participation? So if you're setting in astrophotography, the best way of doing that I actually just created a brand new email address for this. So it's going to be the letters VSP at knowthecosmos.com. So that should be in the description of the Google Plus event page. I'll also put that out into the YouTube description after the show is done. But VSP for Virtual Star Party at knowthecosmos.com. Send that in there with your name, what the object is that you imaged, the equipment that you used, and also where and what time that you took that, so I can help include that in there. For live participation, if you're able to if you're able to stream live from your telescope via a webcam into a Hangout on Air, just like we're doing now, I've used an old Microsoft LifeCam locally to a Coronado PST to bring into the Virtual Star Party. So it's very low requirements as far as tech goes. If you want to do some bigger things, there are many different opportunities there. But again, just shoot us a line at the VSP at knowthecosmos.com if you are interested and joining up with us, and we will try to get everyone on board because we love having more astronomers. We've grown over the years, and we love including more and more people. So thank you for that question, and I'm going to hop back over to Gary's image, and I love it. It's beautiful.
This is in the Orion, and the Horsehead itself is a dark nebula in front of this emission nebula behind it. So that's dark matter, the kind like you said where stars are being formed. And over here is the Flame Nebula.
I can kind of see where we're getting that flame, just the wispiness going on there, where those clouds of the molecular clouds are blocking the light from behind it.
Yeah, right, yeah. And the core, you see the little fingers, these are where stars are going to be born, or are being born. But it's just, I love this object, and it's not very far from the Orion Nebula itself. It's in the same constellation.
So right there, yeah, in Orion. And what went into making this image?
This was 15 minutes for red, 20 minutes for green, and 20 minutes for blue.
Wow. So we're looking at almost, we're looking at an hour, about an hour's worth of exposures to get this image.
Right. It's a very, very dim object.
Right.
With a standard telescope, you really can't see the Horsehead. You can see part of the flame. This, for reference, this star right here is Alnitek, which in the northern hemisphere, when you look at the Orion, this is a left-hand star in the belt.
Oh, gotcha. So yes, we're looking up at Orion's belt there. So this is where we're looking. And I mean, fantastic. I have to, so I work with Hubble's outreach, and your image there of the Horsehead, I'm going to say it's on par. It's beautiful. I applaud you, sir. That is gorgeous.
I'm proud of this one.
That's fantastic. When did you take this?
Oh, this was about 2 years ago.
2 years ago? Okay. And you said it was a dark sky site. So is it here in California or?
In California, Southern California. This is when I could still travel with my scope. I'm pretty much stuck here now.
Well, I'm telling you, if you want to go on an excursion, I have a strong back, as long as I don't throw it out, because I'm getting there too. But we can go on an adventure if you'd like, and I will help you move your telescope.
All right. Well, we'll talk about that.
All right. Very good. So we got about 15 minutes left, and I have a bunch of images left to go, so I'm going to speed through some of them over here, and then we'll get to the rest of everyone here live. So this one is from Paul Hutchinson, and this is the Tulip Nebula in Cygnus, and I love it. So I know it's coming through a little bit more orangey in the Hangout, but we're seeing a lot of pinks coming through, and almost a little bit of greenish blue. And I just love the detail he's able to get in here. Now, as I go to my notes, because I am great at producing and directing, I realized, oh, there it is. I do have his stuff. So this was taken yesterday, actually, so the 8th of August. This is the Sharpless 101, taken with his Skywatcher Explorer 200p, and the camera he used was a Canon 1100D. But so let's see, and he was using a guiding scope as well to keep that on. But this is a beautiful image coming through, and actually I have another one from Paul. Let's see if I can pull that up. That's not it. That's not it. That's it. So this is Paul's dumbbell. So what we were imaging earlier with Andrew, this is Paul's version processed. So we can see here actually one thing that you can really tell, interestingly enough, you might be able to see here in the Hangout. I know it does degrade a little bit, but it's a little bit fuzzier around the sides, but when you get in here, it shows that he did put a little bit more time into observing, and we're able to really see what's going on here in this planetary nebula. And what a planetary nebula is, it's a star that's very similar to our star, very, very late in its life. And so after it's gone through its red giant phase, and it's no longer able to really contain the matter in it, through gravity, because its core is squishing down. It's a smaller quark it's got heavier. It's fused down to heavier elements. Since the gravity field on it is able to hold that all in, it starts sloughing out into space, and we're able to see these beautiful colors. And you can see the similar like dumbbell shape that's going on here, and it's just absolutely beautiful. And yes, this might happen. We don't know for sure if this is going to happen with our star, but it's very possible that our star, in well over 5 billion years from now, this will be what happens to us after Earth burns to a crisp when it goes through its red giant phase, and everyone's happy because I'm going to be long gone. I'm going to be on another galaxy by then because I'm living forever. I'm going to hop back over to Paul, and Paul, this is another one of your images that you've taken. When was this taken?
It was taken yesterday afternoon too.
Yesterday afternoon.
That's what the sun looked like yesterday.
Beautiful.
That is amazing. I love just being able to see the full magnetic loop there on the left side of the image, right there on the limb. And so what we're seeing there, this is actually this is matter on the surface of the sun being, it's trying to go out and it's being pulled back in by the extreme magnetism that's on the surface and within it. So it's just twisting and shoving it all around there. Just love how you're able to pull that out. Now, that's a really quick image, or did you stack a lot of this, or how are you able to create this image?
That's 2 panels, each one the best 30% stacked out of 1,000 frames.
Out of 1,000 frames?
Yep, 1,000 frames each.
Wow, that is absolutely amazing. Hop over to Mike here. What do we got?
This is NGC 6992 in Cygnus.
6992. Now this was. It almost looks like what's the thing I'm thinking of?
The Veil Nebula?
I'm sorry?
The Veil Nebula.
The Veil Nebula, there we go.
Yeah, this is part of that whole giant Cygnus loop. This is the only portion I could fit in my frame, though.
So you've got a smaller field of view than what Gary has. And I believe Gary's got the Veil up as well, right?
Yes, yeah, I picked that one too.
All right, so we'll hop over to Gary's here in a second. And so your telescope is what, Mike?
Mine is a Celestron Omni XLT 150, so it's basically a 6-inch telescope. And I have a focal length of 750 millimeters.
Gotcha.
So I've got a relatively wide field of view,
but
that area is just huge. I don't really know the actual size of it. I just know it's a large area. I need multiple sections to stitch them all together to get the whole thing.
Yeah, so this is actually a part of a supernova remnant. So this is when a supernova happened. Gosh, I used to know this off the top of my head, and I'm too busy to Google it right now. But what you're seeing here is the matter that was being blown out afterwards over time. And I'm going to hop over to Gary's image to get a better view of it as well. And we're seeing this. There's so much energy had to go on to shoot this in such a wide area. So this is taking up a very big area of the sky. And your field, this is taken with your typical field of view, or this stitched together here, Gary?
No, this is my standard field of view. And this is also, I wanted to bring one up that was shot from my light polluted location in the LA basin.
Okay.
This was shot with 150 minutes of hydrogen alpha filter, 120 minutes of sulfur 2 filter, and 90 minutes of an O3. And then it's mapped out where sulfur is sulfur's the green, hydrogen is the red, and oxygen is the blue. So I've made a 3-color image, red color image you're made of,
right,
by the false colors. So you can see some of the areas where it's purple, you're mixing the red and the blue, so you've got hydrogen and oxygen in that area.
Right. Oh, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
It really is just one of my favorite objects as well. Just seeing, I did a hangout about a month ago with an astrophysicist, Katie Mack, and we were talking about supernova remnants, and we were talking about objects like this, and all the the immense power that happens during them, but also how we're able to observe and study them to see and kind of wind back time to see what's going on there. So what we're seeing here is just beautiful. I'm going to screen share real quick something else, and you guys, sorry it's moving, but this is from Kevin Franklin. Let's see, is this moving on your screen? It's not moving on my window that I'm seeing.
No, I don't see it moving either.
Well, this is, maybe I'll try another thing here. Let me pull it up maybe in a different Chrome window since Internet Explorer tries taking it over. Let's see here. Let's try this. This might work. Yes. There we go. See, Chrome, you always save the day. Screw you, Internet Explorer. So we're looking at Saturn peeking up from the occultation with the moon. And this was from Kevin Franklin that he used so he was doing a video camera on his, let me see, I had it written down. Yes, I did write it down. Success. From his Meade LX90. So that is his 8-inch Schmidt-Cassegrain telescope. And he did just take this from a video and turn it into an animation here. And this was taken on the 4th of August from Australia. So, I mean, it's awesome what he was able to pull out there watching one of our most beautiful planets come out from behind the moon there.
Wow.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, that's great.
So, and again, I'll be putting this up here onto the event page, and I'm going to see here what Andrew's got showing. Well, I've got a bunch of images from Amit Kale, one of my favorite. I'm sorry, guys, one of my favorite astronomers that we've had with us. He's in Turkey, and he sent me a bunch of images, and I want to get to all of them, and there's so many, and I don't know if I'll be able to get to all of them, so I'll try to get one or two into the show tonight, and then I'll put the rest onto the event page. But what are we looking at right now, Andrew?
Well,
besides, is this an all-sky view of something?
It's an all-sky view of the telescope I just used to take the Dumbbell Nebula. So it's a very recent image. I was just trying to capture the fact that we have this supermoon almost blasting out the sky. It almost looks like daylight here. I can see very few stars that I can normally see on an all-sky camera.
Right.
But these all-sky cameras are getting quite popular now for people to buy, either just to keep an eye on the sky for their observatories, or for meteor observing, or just watching the ISS cross the sky.
Right.
So I just thought I'd bring that quickly.
That's the moon just blowing out everything there.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, moon. And speaking of the moon, I'm going over to Paul. Take a look at his image of the moon. Jeez, Paul. So what's this taken with, and why did you just make everything so pretty? Why?
This is taken with a 132mm fractor and 2.5 times Barlow.
So 2.5 times Barlow. So that's just your eyepiece that you put in there, and then you connect your camera up to that to zoom and enhance CSI style.
Yes.
There. And when did you take this?
It was done on the 4th.
On the 4th. Okay. That's amazing. I love the details we're able to see in that range there, and even in the crater and the shadows going on. Just you're really able to see the texture on the surface.
Again, wow.
Yeah, right?
I think Paul owns the LRO.
Paul, do you own the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter? Are you lying all this time? Like, oh, I'm in New Zealand with my camera. Like, no, you actually just own all these spacecraft?
No comment.
No comment. So it's a Kiwi conspiracy we've got going on. I see here. Well, YouTube, you decide. I know how YouTube commenters are, so I'm just going to leave that to YouTube to go through. And I'm going to pull up one from Gary, and then I'm going to share one as well that is actually the same image from Ahmet. So what are we looking at here, Gary?
This is my Andromeda. Again, taken at a dark location. It's about 4 years old,
Mm-hmm.
with red, green, and blue filters, so that it is it's pretty much true color.
Right.
And it's about an hour and a half total exposure time.
Hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is our closest, grand galaxy. We have satellite galaxies closer to us, but this is the closest galaxy to us, and it's headed right for us. And as you can see here, that you have satellite galaxies already on there. I believe that's M101 that we're looking at, and M32, I believe, maybe.
The galaxies M110,
M110,
and yeah, I don't remember the other one.
yeah, it's not important, but I love the it is important, but we're running out of time. But the clouds, just the dust lanes that you're able to see there. I mean, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I love it. I do. Let me take a quick side note here.
Yeah.
Because we have different things we like. I finished a book called The Martian, and it's one of the best books I've read in a long, long time.
That is
Really?
a good book. Yep, I just got done reading it too.
Wasn't that great?
Yeah, it was.
And who's it by?
Oh,
Good question.
Yeah,
authors.
authors.
I'd have to grab my Kindle and look it up.
Okay. Well,
But it's
yeah.
just called The Martian.
The Martian. All right, I'll look it up too because I'm actually rereading Pale
Andy
Blue Dot
Weir.
because it's amazing.
Is-
Who's that?
Is it the Andy Weir one? I
No.
think, yeah, no?
Well, we'll find out. And we can put it into the notes later. Now, I'm going to show, and I'm sorry, Gary, but I'm going to say that Ahmed really showed you up on this one, and I don't normally say that with your Andromeda, but holy wow!
Wow.
Right? And so I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to go to 100%, and I'm
Do
going to
it.
get in here. Look at the detail he was able to pull out. And this, again, is the Andromeda Galaxy, and its satellite galaxies here. I mean, just amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, that's gorgeous.
And if you guys know me by now, I never say that anyone shows up Gary's Andromeda, but I think Ahmed did. This is fantastic.
Absolutely.
I'm going to pull up the notes that I have here, and I think, let me...
So that's an enormous field of view as well.
Yeah. And let me see here. For his M31 here, this is taken... this was actually taken on the 1st of August in Turkey. And is that, let's see here... This is taken with his Canon T2i. Let's see here... ISO 1600, C11 Edge HD in Hyperstar, and just processed with Spixinsight, and I'm just, wow, I can't believe it. Now he actually sent a few more images, so I'm going to pull that up here as well. This is M33, which, if you've watched this before, you are familiar with, and it just, wow. Absolutely useless.
Wow. And it's Andy Weir, W-E-I-R.
Andy Weir for that book, for The Martian. So again, this image here is taken in Turkey with actually the same setup that he had going on there, and I mean just wow. So this is yeah, like I said, M33, and this was actually taken at ISO 400. But oh.
That's stunning. I love those hydrogen alpha regions, those little pink.
Yeah, as they're popping out there.
Yeah,
and so this was
nice.
I would say 6. Yeah, so these are 3 images at 360 seconds each, so we're 6 minutes each. So 3 images there at 6 minutes.
And the star colors really pop on that too.
Yeah, they're really coming out.
Beautiful.
And I'll pull up one more that he's got here. That's not it. There we go. Because why not? So this is his M27 there, and just wow, Ahmed, I wish we could get you live in here again. We need to have you live because it's been a while, but I will put up the rest of the images that you submitted here into the event page. And I don't know if Ahmed's on Twitter, but I know that he is here on Google Plus. So everyone, look him up there. When I put the images into the event page, I will make sure to ping him so everyone's able to go there and follow. I am going to do a final run through with Andrew. What are we looking at, Andrew?
Okay, this is a horrible raw image. So with the moon being so bright, this is called the Crescent Nebula. You can just about see the crescent shape appearing in the short exposure that I've done. But again, another live image from Spain. Well, almost live.
Almost live image from Spain. Very nice.
This looks so much better in color, of course, but
right.
And when it's processed.
Well, how about when you finish processing it, can you put it up onto the event page?
Well, I won't be taking the additional images for the various color filters on this one, so I won't get any better than this one in this session.
All right. Well, then
unfortunately, next time.
We'll do it. All right. And Michael, is that really, dude? Selfie?
Oh yeah, that's a selfie with an aurora. Very first one I ever saw with my eyes, though.
That's
at 44 latitude. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's
and
amazing.
That mess of lights behind me, not the green ones, but the horrible orange ones. That's Plattsburgh.
Plattsburgh.
That's where I live.
And
that's
still we're able to see the aurora really well. That's amazing. Great job there. And here's Paul's moon again. Oh, Paul, killing us. Earth to Paul. Are you on your spaceship? Get back down here and talk to us.
Yeah, that was a mosaic. 6-panel mosaic, I think it was.
6 panels? Okay. And is this using the same setup from your last moon image?
It was.
Oh, wow. And this was from the 4th, you said?
Yep.
Absolutely amazing. Great job. And even though Fraser's not here, so we can laugh at him and say that he doesn't get to see his favorite, what are we looking at, Gary?
This is the Rosette, and again, this was taken from my light polluted location.
Yeah.
So the hydrogen alpha is red, and you can see it's mostly hydrogen.
Yeah, and it really coming out there in those beautiful reds and magentas. And so this is using your typical setup there with hydrogen and your oxygen filter and everything like that, just to...
Yeah.
Okay.
Hydrogen and sulfur and oxygen.
Wonderful. Well, we're actually going over, and I don't typically care, but I actually have a cat to take care of, so I need to go and do that. But thank you, everybody, for joining us. I want to go through and thank all of our astronomers here. So, Andrew, sir, thank you for waking up or staying up. I don't know which one it is, but thank you for joining us. It's from 3 to 4 a.m. in the UK.
Oh, you're very welcome.
And again, where can people find you?
They can find us searching Astronomy for Fun on Facebook. Probably that's the only one I'll advertise right now.
All right, and also you're on Twitter at AJ Dumbleton, you said?
That's correct, yeah.
Very good. Gary, as always, man, thank you.
Very welcome. I love to share.
And we love it when you share with us. And again, your Twitter handle for people to follow you?
It's
and harass you constantly?
W6RYO, Whiskey 6, Romeo, Yankee, Oscar.
All right, everyone. Go out there, follow Gary, and harass him for more pretty pictures. And let's see here, going over to Michael. Mike, Adirondack Astro.
Yes.
Are you going to start hanging out with us some more?
Huh?
Are you going to start hanging out with us some more? I know
yes,
you're in school.
I'm trying to get my DSLR to show pictures as I take them on Linux, and it is a pain.
It can be a pain.
I can't get guiding to work. I can get the pictures to show up, but I can't get guiding to work. And then on Windows, I can get guiding, but not pictures. So let's just combine the two.
If we need to, again, we can take your images that you take there and put them up, because we're trying to change it up there and allow more people to jump in. So
yeah, definitely.
Welcome back to the fold.
Thank you very much.
And Paul Stewart, and we're going. No, I'm just kidding. Paul, you sir, are again a rock star. Where can we find more from you?
You can find me on Twitter at AstroStew or on Google+.
Google Plus, and you have your own website as well, yeah?
Yeah, but I don't update that very often, like I
Okay,
should do.
so all right. Well then, yeah, and it's funny. So Paul here does not talk all that much in the Hangouts, but he loves to harass me on Twitter. So if you want to follow both of us, and you can watch us go at it randomly, being snarky, because we do it all the time. So right here, I am a Scientific Scott. Our official Twitter handle is _VSP. And we're also on Facebook. I think we just reached 400 likes on Facebook, and I don't put that much up on there. So yay, Facebook. Uh, Thank you again. I have a huge list of people that submitted theirs. I want to thank Chris. Let's see, Paul Hutchinson, Russell, Dylan. Let's see, did I actually get to Dylan's image? Let me pull it up here. Maybe that's what we can go out with. Yes, let me pull it up and we can leave with that because Dylan is a new astronomer that we've not had before. So this is his from Ro Ophiuchi, and it is beautiful. Beautiful image here. So I do want to go through our list of people and thank. So we also had Stephen Ron, Kevin Franklin. I didn't get to Gavin, but I will put that out there. Gavin Haverman put out an amazing time-lapse video up on Vimeo, and it's beautiful. So I'll put links out there for that. Also, David Ernst and, again, Ak Mikhail. Thank you so much for your submissions. If you are interested in joining us in the future, as far as if you do your own astrophotography, just shoot us an email at vsp@knowthecosmos.com. Tweet at us, send us the message on Google+. I try to check those as often as possible, or tweet at me as well. I'm on Twitter a lot. I tweet a lot. So until next time, I will try to be sharing my images. I'll be trying to do some astrophotography tomorrow up from Mount Wilson Observatory for the Perseids and the supermoon. So we'll see how terrible. I mean, great. No, I'm not that great of an astrophotographer. So I will be trying and failing miserably, and we'll see what comes out of it. So again, thank you all for watching. Next thing up for me is going to be Thursday. We are doing our Hubble Hangout with the Hubble Space Telescope on, let's see, it's hot Jupiters, and the water amount that they're really dry, that we're finding very little amounts of water on these exoplanets that are being observed with Hubble Space Telescope. So go ahead and circle us on Google Plus at Hubble Space Telescope. We are Hubble Telescope on Twitter, and also I believe it's Hubble site channel on YouTube, so follow us there, and we have those every Thursday afternoon at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. Shameless plug complete. Everyone have a great weekend, and we will see you all later.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.